Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of Fast Break Bets presented by BettingPros. You know me, know the voice, know the guys. Me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. All right, we did bounce back with the winning day. Unfortunately, it didn't involve any of the picks that I gave out on the show the last time out because that Bucks and Pelicans game got postponed. Uh, if you're in the Discord, bettingpros.com/chat, then you would have the information that I dropped right after the game got postponed, where I did end up dropping additional plays for the day that will count for the show. And so that's another reason that, hey, if you're not in that Discord, you need to go get into that Discord, bettingpros.com/chat right now. Go get into that Discord, have an opportunity to communicate with the whole community, but also be in the know when things like that happen and we get a cancellation on a game. I'm in there in the Discord dropping additional plays and getting it out to the people. So you can get all of that for free in our Discord, bettingpros.com/chat. So, recapping what happened. We got the void on both of our bets in the Pelicans and the Bucks game. However, ended up giving out Suns laying 11.5. I just had a feeling that everybody was going to be out for the Nets, and I caught the number before it jumped. It didn't matter. Even if you caught the late part of the number, you still ended up cashing because the Suns I mean, it was never in doubt. There was never a point where I sat there and thought about this game like, man, this might not cover. Absolutely dominant from start to finish as they handled the Brooklyn Nets, who essentially sent out a G League roster. Desmond Bain went over 18 and a half points over there against the Charlotte Hornets. He finished with 24, gave that out on social media, YouTube Short X. So that was a very good, nice cash there. And then I gave out LaMelo to go over 7.5 assists. He didn't get there. Fell short right there at 6. Don't know what to say. I mean, for a while, it just seemed like he had a lot of assist chances from what I saw, and everyone was a miss. And Charlotte couldn't score at one point, then they couldn't stop scoring, but it was too late because the game was already out of reach. That one didn't work out. So there we go. All right, I have, believe it or not, 3 plays for you today, because there's one angle that I can't not play, and that's in the standalone early game. You're probably looking at the slate and you're like, wow, what is this? A 2 o'clock NBA basketball game? Yes, because this 2 o'clock NBA basketball game is being played in Paris, France, where Victor Wembanyama is making his return home to play with his San Antonio Spurs against the Indiana Pacers here. Pacers are laying 2.5. 230 is the total. So for me, it's simple. I was very, very close to putting a bet down on San Antonio to just win the game outright, because I feel like Wemby's going to come over there. Wemby's going to put on an absolute show, and you all already know how I feel about this Indiana Pacers team. However, I'm not going to do that because San Antonio, their bench is horrible. I think the team is constructed weird. They really need to get Wemby and Devin Vassell some help, and it doesn't seem like they really have much of it. So I think Wemby's going to have a good game. I'm going to play the Wemby back in France angle. I'm sure a bunch of people are going to play it, but I'm going to do it because I think he's going to walk over here and have 30. So why would I not play his over 26.5? I think there's nobody that can stop him. He actually had 31 against this team last season at the end of the season when he really started to get going and really started to feel comfortable in the NBA. I think he could have another big game here and do a lot of scoring and do a lot of damage against this Indiana Pacers team. So I'm going to say Victor Wembanyama over 26.5 in his return to France. Yeah, very simple. Standalone game, early slate. I wanted to just go ahead and give that play out because there are probably going to be some people that didn't catch this in time. And so I didn't want to make that one of my 2 plays because then they would be listening to the show. They wouldn't have heard it and it would have already gone. So if you catch it in time, you catch it in time. If you don't, well, at least I got 2 more plays for you because there's still a game scheduled in Milwaukee at 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast tomorrow, going up against the Miami Heat. Milwaukee's currently laying 7, 224.5 is the total. So there's a lot of things going on with this game. Let's start with this. The Milwaukee game did not happen today, so they're not on a back-to-back. They didn't play today. However, they were already in New Orleans for the game. So as of when did he? So Tim Reynolds, Associated Press NBA writer, he tweeted out at 6:07 p.m. that there is a flight plan calling for the Milwaukee Bucks to arrive from New Orleans for their game tomorrow at 4 p.m. Now, there's a good chance that this game gets canceled because arriving for your game in Milwaukee at 4 p.m. and the game is currently scheduled at 7:30. I mean, maybe they pushed the time for the game back. Maybe they cancel. But you're telling me that there is a chance that the Milwaukee Bucks are arriving for their game within 3 hours that they have to play, 3.5 hours, and they're laying 7 against the Miami Heat of all teams? I mean, the cardiac kids when it comes to playing as a dog. So that's the Milwaukee Bucks side of the ball. Now to the Miami side of the ball. Jimmy Butler is suspended because he didn't make the flight because Miami saw all this snow and all this weather on the radar and said, hey, let's cancel practice. Let's get on a flight early and let's get out to Milwaukee. Jimmy Butler misses that flight. Jimmy Butler, very unserious person right now. Like, this is the guy who comes to work every single day like, man, I wish they would just fire me today. And he purposely does stuff to fire them, but the company just doesn't do anything about it. And he just, he kind of gets away. I mean, one, very hilarious to miss the flight. And then it's a team flight. Like, it's not like this is Delta or like this is a chartered. Okay, very, 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 very funny to miss the flight. However, so Jimmy is suspended. Jimmy's not playing this game. So now you have what could be deemed as a cancer, something that's just kind of an additional storyline, something extras in the locker room is not going to be there. Now, so no Jimmy in this game because of the suspension. I'm sorry, I'm really, really getting to the point, but there's a lot of layers to this of why I like this. So Jimmy's not playing. I like this already better because Jimmy played that last game and you saw what happened in Portland. Now, how much of that was Jimmy playing and how much was that the fact of you just never lay that amount of points with Miami? Who knows? But what I will say is that Tim Reynolds also tweeted and said the Heat have announced they plan to have shoot-around practice in Milwaukee. So the Heat get to do everything normal preparing for a game, and Milwaukee might get there 3 hours before the game. Yeah, all right, man. All right, man. And this is the Miami Heat, who are amazing as a dog. You look at the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks rivalry series. It typically goes how it's supposed to go. Look at the last matchup. Miami was laying 6 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee got the win 106-103. What do? Not lay points with Miami as a favorite. Game before that, Milwaukee was laying 8.5 points in Milwaukee against Miami. They lost the game 123-97. Come on. The games go exactly how they're supposed to. Game before that, you had the Milwaukee Bucks. They were laying 5. They did barely get the cover on the road, 131-124. Game before that, you had Milwaukee at home, 122-114. They get a push, not even a cover, a push as an 8-point favorite there. Then you look game before that, You have Milwaukee losing outright as a 12.5 point favorite, 128, 126. Game before that, Miami wins outright as a 7.5 point dog at home, 119, 114. Game before that, Miami wins as a 2 point dog at home, 121, 99. I mean, come on, people. This is how it works. You take the Miami Heat as a dog. This is when you buy back in on the Miami Heat. I'm so sold on this. I mean, come on. I'm so sold. I'm completely sold on this. So give me the Miami Heat +7. I'm going to sprinkle on the money line at +230 just in case. But this just seems like the classic. Miami wakes up in the morning and Eric Spoelstra comes up with an amazing game plan. And Milwaukee, through the travels, through everything that they've had to deal with over the past 2 days, they're just not prepared. And Miami punches them in the mouth. I'm on the Miami Heat +7, sprinkle on the money line. Now, for a last player prop for the day, going to the Toronto Raptors game. They're playing the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks are laying 5. 234.5 is total. Prop bet cheat sheet likes it. I like it. So we're going to play it. It is Scottie Barnes to go over 13.5 rebounds and assists in this game. 66% cover probability, 5-star bet rating. And we have Scottie Barnes, who has been very good to this number, but he has been even better to this number when Emmanuel Quickly is out. Less another ball handler that's not there. Scottie Barnes is now looked at as the de facto point guard of the team. He initiates the offense, gets them going, and he's always been an active rebounder around the rim, and they're going to need that in this game. I'm very curious on the lineup that the Atlanta Hawks put out there tomorrow because Jalen Johnson has that shoulder injury. He just played today, and they've been very, very, very cautious with him over the past month and change, honestly. So there could be a potential that they don't have their leading rebounder, Jalen Johnson, in this game. That could really, really help us in this prop as well. Scottie Barnes has been over this number in 10 of his last 15 games without Emmanuel Quickly. So for the last 5 without Emmanuel Quickly, I think this is a very, very good spot for Scottie Barnes to be able to not only rack up assist on what I believe is a bad Hawks defense, but also maybe take advantage of possibly no Jalen Johnson there as well and be able to grab some extra rebounds. So I like Scottie Barnes to go over his 13.5 rebounds and assist prop here on a Thursday and fast break bets. These are the 3 plays. Going with the early game slate, Victor Wembanyama to go over 26.5 points back in France. Then we're taking the Heat +7, sprinkle on the money line here. I mean, the travel issues with the Bucks, the Heat as a dog, and Jimmy Butler is now suspended again. I think we could see a revitalized Heat team here. And then Scottie Barnes to go over his 13.5 RA. Whoa, wrong. There we are. All right. With that, I have nothing else. That's it. So, hey, give me a follow at reallyreal__ on X. Give us a follow at BettingPros on X and TikTok, at BettingPros NFL on Instagram and YouTube.com/BettingPros. With that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end it like this. We are, wait. Give us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcast. And also make sure you take time to get a Trae Young signed jersey. All you have to do is subscribe to Fast Break Bets and leave a comment on any Fast Break Bets video. All right. I mean, subscribe to Betting Pros and leave a comment on any Fast Break Bets video. All right. Now, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do, no other way of ending the podcast. Just going to do like this. We are